the ratio of Susan's age to Peter's age is 1:2. So you write down Susan is to Peter is 1:2. In 8 years' time, the ratio will become 5:8. That means in 8 years' time, this is the ratio. 5:8. So if you are, let's say you are 12 years old this year, your dad is 42. Okay, if you are 12 years old this year, your dad is 42 years old. What's the age difference between you and your dad? 30, right? Okay. Then 10 years later, how old is your dad? 10 years later, how old are you? What's the difference between you and your dad? Still the same, right? So no matter what, the difference will remain unchanged. Okay, for each question is always the difference remain unchanged. So the difference here is actually 1 unit. Difference here is actually 3. Since the difference must remain unchanged, what should I do next? Call it out. Lowest common multiple for which one? Which means which one should I change? What is the number that I need to change? So I need to change my difference from 1 unit to become 3 units, right? Okay, so what I get here is 3:6, then the difference is 3. Alright? Now, we know that this is 8 years later. And this is currently, right? So now is 3 units is to 6 units. 8 years later is 5 units to 8 units. So from 3 to 5, what's the increase in the number of units, Leroy? And if you know that here is 2 units, you can see Susan increased by 2 units. Peter will also naturally increase by 2 units, right? So form the equation for me, Ernest. Two units equals to 8. Okay, so 2 units equals to 8. You know that 1 unit equals to 4. Find Susan's age 2 years ago. So, what is Susan's age, current age? What is Susan's current age in terms of units? Yun Chong. What's my question? Copy this question 10 times, please, during today's recess. Okay? I know you're dreaming. Aisha, tell me. 3 units. Okay? Because we are looking for 3 units. I asked what is Susan's current age in terms of units. That's my question. So now we know that it is 12 units currently. So they want to find Susan's age 2 years ago. So you must read the question carefully. 2 years ago, that means I need to subtract 2, right? I know that her age is 10 years old 2 years ago. Okay? Anyone has any problem with this question? If there's no problem, then I'll move on to the next question. The total number of stickers that Brad and Pete had was the same number that Angelina had. So I have 3 persons here. Brad and Pete. The total number is the same number as Angelina. So I want to express it as a ratio. Isabel, can you give me the ratio? One is to 1. Okay, because same number, right? So we know it's equal. So we know it's 1:1. Next, the total number of stickers that Angelina and Pete had. So I have Angelina and Pete. To that of Brett, they had the total number of stickers that Angelina and Pete had was twice the number that Brett had. So, Sky, give me the ratio. 3:1. Twice means 3 times. Okay, so you can see that from here my ratio 1%, 2%, 3%, 1%, 2%, 3%. So now, don't you think that in this case the total, don't you think that the total should be the same? Yes or no? Because 3%, 3%, right? Right? So if the total should be the same, so what should I do next, Jing Kai? Lowest common multiple for total. So what's the lowest common multiple for total, Leroy? 4. So I need to change it to 4. So I know it's 2. It's to 2. Now I can come up with the new ratio, Angeline to Brett is to Pete. So give me the new ratio, Yongqian. 2:1 is to 1. How does she know it's to 1? Is because the total must be? Huh? The total must be? The same, right? Which is 4, right? Correct? Okay, so total must be the same. Now, if they had a total of 32 stickers, how many stickers does Angelina have? So total is 32 stickers. So form me the equation beyond. 4 units equals to 32. Now, how many stickers does Angelina have in terms of units, Amish? 2 units. So I know that I'm actually doing a 32 divided by 2, right? Which gives me a 16. Okay? Anyone has any problem with this? No? Good. Let's look at the next question. Yes, Amish? You have to use my method. You can use another method, but you need to show it as corrections, alternative. Okay, my method. But you mean you have a faster method than this? Do you have a faster method than this? Huh? You understand your method better than this method? Honestly? No, I later show me your working, okay? I'm not insisting that my method is the best. I'm just saying that if you really think that you have a shorter working, I'll be quite surprised. A shorter and working that's equally clear to the teacher. Okay, sometimes you can give a lot of shortcuts, but if your working is unclear, you have your marks deducted as well. I'm talking about a shorter method and it's equally clear for the marker to mark. Okay, I'll be interested to know as well. Okay, Peter and Lim each have some marbles. If Peter gives 36 marbles to Lim, both of them would have the same number of marbles, right? So first, if we are solving in terms of ratio now, okay, not in terms of model. So when later, if you never do it in terms of ratio, please do it in terms of ratio. So first, if tells you that both Peter and Lim would have the same number of marbles, right? 1:1. Correct? Okay, because both of them will have the same number of marbles. Next, if Lim gives 12 marbles to Peter, so I'm looking at my second if now. The ratio of the number of marbles Peter had to the number of marbles Lim has becomes 5:1. So Peter to Lim becomes 5:1. Correct? Anyone has any problem so far? Okay, now we can see that this is internal exchange kind of thing, right? It's either Peter gives to Lim or Lim gives to Peter. Correct? Yes? So what can you comment about the total here? Total unchanged, right? So we also look at total. In which this case is 2. Total here is 6. So what do you think I should do next, Jack? Lowest common multiple for which one? The first total, right? Correct. So when you get the lowest common multiple for first total, what do you get, Kaden? 6, right? So I have 3:3:6. Okay, all this is after the if, so I need to get back my real, right? Yes or no? I need to get back my real. Okay, so let's get back my real. So this case is my real. If Peter gives 36 marbles to Lim, that means Lim need to return 36 to Peter, right? So what I do is, I know that Peter now becomes 3 units plus 36, right? Correct or wrong? And then, in the case of Lim will be minus 36. Correct? Anyone has any problem so far? Yes, Colin? Because usually when we put a unit there, right, we will not put a 2 dot. Unless it's just 2 whole numbers, then we will put a ratio. Because ratio is usually 1 whole number to another whole number. Ratio, we cannot have a fraction to a fraction, right? Or decimal to a decimal. Ratio is either 1:2 or 2:5. It's always whole number to whole number, right? Okay, that's why in this case, because it's not a whole number to whole number, I never put a 2 dot. Okay? And so remember, please do not... you all understand what Colin Chi is asking, right? Okay, what he meant is, why is it that I never put a 2 dot here? Okay, not supposed to do that. Okay, because that's not a right presentation. Next, I look at my second if. If Lim gives Peter 12 marbles, I need to return the 12 marbles to Lim, right? So I need to return the 12 marbles to Lim. I get 5 units minus 12. And the other one is 1 unit plus 12, right? Yes? Okay, now, I know that this is my real. Correct or wrong? Am I right to say that if I equate this with this, they should be equal? Since they are both real for Peter. Yes or no? Okay, so 3 units plus 36 equals to 5 units minus 12. Okay, now the next step. Okay, I'm very interested to know. Right, the next step. Who got 1 mark for the last question in CA1? 1 mark. Okay, Caroline, tell me what's the next step? 2 units equals to? Are you sure? Think again. 2 units equals to? 48. Okay, this is where most of you make mistake. It should be 2 units equals to 48. How did I get 2 units equals 48? Look at my laser pointer. 3 units I bring over, it comes minus 3, right? So 5 minus 3 units, you get 2 units. Yes or no? Since I bring my 3 units over, my minus 12 I must bring here, right? So it comes plus 12, yes or no? So 36 plus 12 give me 48. Because you what? Okay. Ernest was asking how come I don't write 48 equals to 2 units. Oh, so why is it I don't write 5 units minus 12 equals to 3 units? I can write that as well. Nothing wrong. It's still equal, right? Is that what you're asking? I can either write this equals to this, or I can write this first equals to that. No, it will give me the same outcome. Minus 12 equals to 3 units plus 36. I'll still get 2 units equals to 48, right? If I bring this 12 over, I don't quite understand you. But in this case, we will not bring the 36 over, you see. You will bring the 12 over. Because I need to bring my 3 units over, right? Correct or wrong? Understand? Because in this case, I'm bringing my 3 units over. You understand what I mean, Ernest? You sure or not? You still look very confused. Are you still confused or? But do you understand why? No? Later I'll explain to you personally, okay? Anyone has any problem with this? Anyone has any problem? If you have problem, please don't be afraid to ask. If there's more people with problems, then I'll spend more time on this, or else later I'll just teach Ernest on my own. Anyone? You're sure you know how to balance? Because these units and parts technique, or this, usually we use all these equations when you have units and parts, right? And it requires a lot of movement of the numbers or the letters, right? Okay, so you all definitely need to know this technique well, or else it's not worth it that you know the strategy, but in the end you cannot complete it. You get 1 out of 5. That means you get 20% of the marks when you deserve 100%. Okay, right? I think some of you already learned from a mistake from this CA1. So knowing that 1 unit equals to, knowing that 2 units equals 48, I know that 1 unit equals to 24. How many marbles does Peter and Lim have? So since they write in the answer column, right, they separate into Peter and Lim. First, we need to find what's my 3 units, right? Which equals to 72. Yes? Okay, if I know that 3 units equals to 72. Yes? No, because you eventually you still need to find separately, you see? Correct? So we are not finding total. So you need to look at the question. If they give you 2, okay? Because they never use the word all together. They never say how many marbles does Peter and Lim have all together, so we don't use 6 units. And of course here they gave you a hint. They want to find Peter and they want to find Lim separately. Okay? So I have 1 Peter, right? It's actually 72 plus 36, which gives me how much? 108. And then I have Lim, which is 72 minus 36, right? Which gives me 36. So 108. Okay, please do not be inflexible. Hold on. Please do not be inflexible and say, oh, I really learned the model method. Then I keep sticking to the model method. Okay, right? You need to be more versatile. You need to have a few more skills. Okay, like you can see this one, if you practice a few more times, right? This one, in fact, is actually faster than model. Okay, if you practice a few more times, this will in fact be faster than the model method. So you must be open-minded to learn the new method. Yes, Bjorn?
I did something, I didn't write the real or anything close to what. I only wrote the ratio model. Then after that I did 36 plus 36 plus 12 plus 12 equals to 4 units.
That means you're still not using the real total, the real idea of ratio. You're not using the idea of ratio to solve it. You still have this 36 plus 36 plus what?
12.
Plus 12 plus 12, right? You're still not totally using the ratio idea. You're still using the model idea. Hold on, Colin. Yeah, negative 12 negative 36, then it's negative 48. Yes, correct. Correct. Yes, Danish? To find lim, is it? You can do the other side as well. Danish was asking whether I can do this part instead. I can. But it's just that I feel that 3 units, if I just find 3 units, I just plus 36 minus 36 is so much easier. Yeah, that's my personal take. You can do the other side as well. Okay? Anyone has any problem with this? I'll expect corrections in terms of ratio this type of working. Okay? I'm actually quite proud. Yongqian used ratio to solve the double if during CA1. Right? Ratio, units and parts. I saw her answer. Is it because you forgot how to draw the model? Huh? Yeah, I was quite surprised. You actually use units and parts to solve. Okay, question 4. At a concert, the ratio of man to woman, okay, so I have my man to my woman, is 8:5 at first. Okay, during the interlude is the interval. You know, sometimes you go to concert or musical more like it, where you have this interlude. Maybe concert, there isn't so much interlude. But if you go for those musical at the Esplanade Theatres, or if you go and watch some play, sometimes there's a 15-minute, 20-minute interlude, right? That means in the middle where people can go for the toilet break and everything else, or you get a refreshment. So during the interlude, 120 men left and 135 women left. So is the number of people who left the same? No, right? One is 120, one is 135. They are not the same. Okay, so that means definitely we need to use units and parts in this case, right? Okay, so I have my before, my after. So man to woman, 8:3. So this is 8 units, 5 units, 8 parts, 3 parts. 120 men left. That means, do I subtract or do I add? Subtract, right? So I subtract 120. And 135 women left. So I need to subtract as well. Okay? So, yes? It's in 2 dots. Yes. I told Colin.
But it's not, it is a whole number.
It's not, there's a letter. You know what's a whole number? A whole number is a number without algebra and everything. Without letters. That's what I mean by a whole number. A whole number, you know, like 1, 2, 3.
But in this case, it's already,
There's a letter U there. Yeah, so we don't do that. Understand? Okay, when I say absolute whole number, that means the whole number is a number, not a letter. Okay? Right? So let me continue. 135. Wendy, form first equation.
8 unit minus 120 equals to 5.
Vikram, second equation. Okay, now that we have the first 2 equations, Lauren, tell me what should I do next? Lowest common multiple for what? So what's the lowest common multiple, Brendan? 24. Okay, so I need to change both of them to 24 parts. Right, so this one I multiply by 3, this I multiply by 8. Okay, so give me the first equation, Elliot. Minus 360 equals 24 parts. Good. Okay, second equation, Kaylin. Minus how much? $1,000 1080, is it? Okay, 1080. Okay, you have the equation up. Clarence, give me the next thing. Equals to 24 unit minus 360. Okay, Caroline, give me the next step. 16 units equals to how much? Can't really hear you, sorry. 720. 720. So 1 unit equals to how much, Lauren? 45. Now that we have found 1 unit, okay, how many people were left at a concert? Okay, because we need to find the number of people who left at a concert. What I can suggest is that if you do not want to find your parts, in fact, we can find one part first. But if you find that finding one part is difficult, I would suggest we find the total number of people at first, which is 13 units, right? 13 units. Then after that, I minus 120 minus 135. That's what I would suggest. If you find difficulty in finding the one part, because 1p is very hard to find, right? Yes or no? Okay, I would suggest you go and find the total number of people before first. Okay, so the total at first is how many units, Adriana? 13 units, right? So, how many people is 13 units? Jingjie? $585. So, Sky, what's the next step? Okay, 585 minus 120 minus 135. And that will give me what answer? Brendan? Sorry? 330. Anyone has any problem with this question? You can find one part as well. Yeah, I said we can find one part as well. But I thought that if we do solve from units, it's easier. Because finding one part is, I feel, is tougher. So we can solve from units. Okay? Nothing wrong. Okay? Anyone has any problem with this question? No? I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay, Mr. Lim spent a total of $600 on 3 different brands of caps, Nike, Adidas, and Puma. The ratio of the amount of money spent, okay, so amount of money spent on Nike to Adidas is 3:2. So, Nike to Adidas is 3:2. So, this is for the amount of money spent. Then the ratio of the amount of money spent on Nike to Puma is 6:2. Now we know that the Nike caps are common, right? Correct? So what should I do next, Dylan Po? For Nike caps. So I actually get 6:4. Now I want the ratio for the amount spent on the 3 items. Dylan, Alden. 6:4 6:4:2. So he's doing a Nike to Adidas to Puma. So 6:4:2. Okay, take note, all this is the amount of money spent. Right? So the price of each Nike cap is $25. The ratio of the number of Nike Adidas caps to Nike caps bought is 2:3. Let's do it step by step. Since we know that the total spend is $600, right? And we know that this $600 is split in this ratio, yes or no? So you can see 6 units, 4 units, 2 units. Altogether, how many units are there? Okay. 12 units equals to how much, Isabel? $12 units equals to 600. So you know that 12 units equals to $600. So 1 unit equals to how much, Charlotte? $50. With this $50, I know the amount spent on Nike, the amount spent on Adidas, and the amount spent on Puma, right? So how much is spent on Nike? MRP. $300, good. Because it's 6 units, right? How much is spent on Adidas? MRB. $200, good. How much is spent on Puma? Ashley? 100. So all the values add up to $600, right? Yes? All the values add up to $600. Now we know that the price of each Nike cap is $25. One Nike cap, $25. And we spend $300 on Nike caps, right? Can we find the number of Nike caps bought?
Yes.
Okay, we can, right? So number of Nike caps is actually 300 divided by $25. So you know that you bought, 12. Okay, 12 Nike caps. Okay, we already know the amount he spent on the Nike caps alone, right? It's $300. So next, we do the next ratio. Okay, so this ratio is for number. The ratio of number of Adidas to Nike is actually 2:3. And then the ratio of the number of Puma to Nike is 5:6. So what's common here? Yun Chong? So what should I do next? Can we? Lowest common multiple for what? For the Nike, right? So I need to change it to 4:6. So I can come up with the new ratio for the Adidas. Let's write it down. Adidas to Nike, or perhaps maybe, yeah, this is good. Okay, Adidas, Nike to Puma. So what's the new ratio, Daryl? 4 is to 6 is to 5. Okay, so we know that in this case, the number of Nike caps bought is 12, right? Yes or no? Now, form an equation for me, Jack. Can we use 6U? Jack, can you explain to the class why we cannot use 6U? Hey, don't be a busybody, some of you. Jack, explain to the class why is it that we cannot use 6U? Aisha, explain to the class why is it I cannot use 6U? Because I reuse units for the amount of money, right? Correct. I cannot have 6U equals to something else here when I have 1U equals to something, right? Yes or no? So I must use 6 parts. Remember, okay? It's not just about confusing yourself. It's your presentation is wrong to the examiner. How can one unit be something here and one unit be something else at the other side? Okay, the examiner will just deduct you marks for presentation. Okay, always remember. So 6 parts equals to 12. You know that 1 part equals to 2. So they want us to find the Puma bags, right? Puma caps. So if I want to find Puma caps, how many parts do I have? Isabel. I have 5 parts, which means that I have 10 Puma caps. So $300 and 10. This is $300 and 10. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, we don't have any more next question.